Today is on 31st October 2018. My name is Cristela Destamichiza, a student in the Bachelor of Arts program with College for America at Southern New Hampshire University, and I'm conducting this interview as part of my academic work. With your consent, I record in this interview and use the key information as part of academic work. I'm working on for the Liverpool Port Government and Youth project. The interview will be used to create this video and submitted to College for America so that my project can be evaluated and be recorded, which will be used thoroughly for academic purposes. This interview information will be temporarily stored in the College for America online evaluation system, to which only the evaluator and College for America staff will have access to it. Do you have any question?
No.
Do you give your consent to be interviewed and recorded?
Yes.
So please state this consent.
I, Julien Mwase, I give my information consent to participate in this interview to be recorded and used as part of the students' academic work.
Thank you so much. So I go directly to the questions that I have prepared. So the answer there. So the first question is, what are the three branches of the government? Three branches of the government. Yeah, it's okay. So what does each branch do? Or you just assume the role of each branch.
I have no idea.
Okay, it's okay. So Democrats and Republicans are the major parties. Can you name the third party?
Sorry, I also don't know.
Oh, okay. Oh, so what is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law? Okay, it's okay, it's okay. Thank you so much for the time that we've spent together. Thank you so much for your answer.
You're welcome. Go.
Today is 31st October 2018. My name is Cristela Destamichiza. I'm a student in the Bachelor of Arts program with College of America at Southern New Hampshire University, and I'm conducting this interview as part of my academic work. With your consent, I will record this interview and use the information as a part of academic work, and I'm working on the project called Government and Youth, and the interview will be used to create this video and submitted to College for America so that my project can be evaluated. So this recording will be used solely for this purpose. This interview information will be temporarily stored in the College for America online evaluation system, to which only the evaluator and College for America staff will have access. Do you have any question? Do you give consent to be interviewed and recorded? Yes. So read the consent here.
I, Angelique Fontaine, do give my informed consent to participate in this interview to be recorded and used as part of the students' academic work.
Thank you so much for your consent. So I would like to ask you a few questions. So what are the three branches of the government?
The three branches of the government, there is legislative, executive, and judicial.
Thank you so much. So what does each branch do? Okay, it's all right. So Democrats and Republicans are the major parties. Can you name a third party? Okay, so what's the basic process by which a bill becomes a law? Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening. So my name is Cristela Duftomuchiza. I've been working on the video which I called street interview in the deliverable that I'm working on, which is called Government and You. So in this deliverable, I had to conduct a student interview while asking the two interviews all the citizens of the U.S. In order to assess their knowledge about their government, how much they know about the government. So I've liked that these interviews have tried to be honest in their responses, and so in this correction, I'll be able to provide some comments and also additional knowledge about on the earlier responses that they provided. Also, I believe this interview helped them to learn more and many other citizens to understand more about our government. So I'll start with the first question. I've asked the first question, which was going like this. So I asked what are the three branches of the government, and in the responses, the first one told me that she does not know anything about the three branches, and but the second one tried to list the three, and she said that there is legislative, the executive, and the judicial. And so the second question was asking the roles of that each branch can play in the government, and the second, they both didn't answer, and they didn't provide any answer. They said they didn't know about the roles that each branch plays. So here I'm going to make sure that I connect the branch and the role that it plays in the government. So the legislative branch includes the Congress, the Senate, and the House of Representatives, and this branch makes the laws. And the executive, this branch of the government includes the president, the vice president, and the cabinet. So the role of this branch is that it carries out the laws. So the judicial, which is the third branch, uh, includes the Supreme Court and other federal courts. This branch, or the role of this branch is to interpret the laws. I think the other additional things that I would add to the questions that I asked them, the roles of each branch, because they both answered no. I have to give them more about what I know the roles play. So, I've been explaining in the first question, the legislative makes the laws, the executive carries out the laws, and the judicial evaluates the law. So these branches are connected because they can change the acts of other branches. This is how the three branches are connected. We should know that the branches are connected. And again, so in addition to what I've been explaining, the first thing that we should put in mind is that these branches are connected because they can change the acts of the other branches, and also they can regulate each other. This term is called checks and balances. So by the meaning of checks and balances, all the way these branches do this. So in this state, the president can reject the legislation created by the Congress and nominates the heads of the federal agencies. Also, the Congress confirms or rejects the president's nominees and can remove the president from the office in exceptional circumstances. And again, the justice comes in, or the justice of the Supreme Court, uh, who can overturn unconstitutional laws, are nominated by the president and confirmed by the state. Moving to the third question, I've asked the interviews whether Democrats are, and I've been explaining that Democrats and Republicans are the major parties, and I've been asking them to state the name the third party. So they both didn't have any answer to the third party. They didn't know that they didn't have any information about the third party. So to give the solution, the response to this, indeed there are two major political parties in the US, followed by other three largest parties, which are Libertarian and Green Party, and Constitutional Party in the respective order, and many others. However, so these parties are the ones that they call the third party in the US. As I've been explaining, the Libertarian, the Green Party, and the Constitution Party comes first when they say third parties. So in this, I will need to explain how the two-party system started. So the two-party system is a system where two major political parties dominate voting in nearly all the elections at every level of the government, and as a result, nearly all elected officials are members of the one or the two major parties. So, so Democratic Party started from the explaining the origin of these parties. So the Democratic Party started from the part of Thomas Jefferson, which was formed before 1800. So this party is considered to be the more liberal party. That Democrats believe that the government has responsibilities to provide social and economic programs for those who need them. For Republican Party, this party was established in the 1850s by Abraham Lincoln and other people who were opposing the expansion of slavery. The Republican is taken as a conservative, because they do not only agree with the programs of social and economic programs as Democratic do. They also take those programs too costly to taxpayers. So while their belief is that a strong private sector makes citizens less dependent on the government. So I will explain also the impact that the third parties have on national politics. So as stated, the third party, or what they call minor parties in the US, refers to any party other than the two, which are Democratic and Republican parties that exist. So the third party candidates do not play a major role in the elections and in elected offices. However, the third parties represent a very small fraction of Americans participating in politics, so they do not influence elections by. They influence elections by drawing votes away from either of the two main parties that we have been talking about, the Democratic and Republican parties. The third parties tend to be more ideological and extremist than the Democrats or Republicans. In short, the third party candidates exert influence by focusing the election on particular issues and taking votes away from major candidates. The first question was asking the basic process by which a bill becomes a law. Neither the first interviewer nor the second did not answer. They have no idea about how bill becomes a law. They say that they don't know anything. So I'm going to explain how bill becomes a law. The first thing to put in mind that we should know that for a bill to become a law, it's really a complex process for a bill to become a law. So I used a diagram to show how a bill becomes a law, shows how it goes through the House and Senate at the same time.
But often a bill is passed to one Congress, then goes to other for same actions. Then after a bill passes both houses, it goes to the president, who either can approve it or veto it. If the president vetoes a bill, it can still become a law in a circumstance where two-thirds of the House and Senate vote to override it through, though it happens rarely. Um, as I've been explaining, it has to pass through the two Congress, the House also and the Senate House. So there are steps that are followed, which makes it complex. The first step, I'll start with how a bill is introduced in the House of Representatives. Mm, and in this same time, the bill is introduced in the Senate. So this is the first step, and the second step is when a bill is introduced in the House of Representatives and in the Senate House, it is also referred to a House committee and subcommittee on the House and the side of the representatives, while on the side of the Senate, it is referred to the Senate committee and subcommittee. The third step is these houses. The bill is voted on in the both houses, voted on by full committee, and on the side of the Senate is voted on the full committee. And so